Preparations are underway for the swearing in of Ontario's next premier. Doug Ford is inviting the public to watch him officially take office tomorrow. A ceremony is scheduled to take place at Queen's Park after the PC leader and his cabinet are sworn in inside. The indoor portion is private, but the ceremony outside at noon is open to everybody. About 1,000 people are expected to attend. Danielle Smith from Global News Radio 770 CHQR joins us now to continue this conversation. Danielle, we know Ontario voters spoke. Kathleen Wynne is out. Doug Ford is in. So what can we expect to be different?
I am really interested in seeing what he ends up doing. One of the things that surprised me right out of the gate was how he aligned with the federal Liberals, saying we're going to walk in lockstep with them in their strategy around NAFTA negotiations with Trump. Because remember, the big targets that Trump has in his eyesights right now are autos, steel, aluminum. I imagine that some of the dairy issues will affect Ontario too. So I thought that was quite interesting, surprisingly diplomatic. I mean, we hear all of these things about Doug Ford and the Ford family, and I'm wondering if perhaps some of our misconceptions about who he is because of who his brother was. So I haven't seen anything yet that suggests to me that we're going to have the same kind of leadership. But he's going to make some big changes on the energy front. Keep in mind, Ontario is the second biggest emitter of greenhouse gas emissions. And he's already said their strategy on cap and trade, he's pulling out of it. Their strategy around giving consumer rebates, he's ending it. And he's also wanting to fire the board of the hydroelectric company, their Hydro One, because of the changes that they have made, which has boosted electricity bills because of the adoption of renewables. So we should watch that, because I think there's been a lot of fear that Alberta's going down the same track, and whatever changes he makes, no doubt, is going to have spark some conversation here about whether we should follow suit. Yeah,
but we'll be watching things on this end of the country for sure. Now, some people have coined him Trump North. Should he be worried about any sort of public perception in this country?
I was expecting that too, but the fact that I haven't seen him say anything outrageous, anything belligerent, and the fact that his first step was to say, yeah, we're going to link arms with the Liberals and walk arm in arm on this issue. That I think mitigates a bit against the stereotype. I think this is the danger is that I think every politician is going to have their own priorities and their own way of approaching things. And Ontario has another big problem. They've got a massive deficit. He wants to be able to get back into balanced budget without cutting the frontline services. I think the conversation in Canada and in Ontario in particular is a little bit different. And so we'll have to watch and see what kind of changes he makes, because I think with Ontario being the real engine of the Canadian economy, we want them to do well. We're cheering for them to do well, because when they do well, the rest of us do well. So I think that this is just a monumental change after 13 years of Liberal government. We'll have to see what kind of big changes he brings through.
Thanks, Danielle. Have a good show.
Yeah, my pleasure.